Hello, this video gives a brief description of the RERUM Gateway. Now let's consider this figure. We have a wireless sensor network with a number of RERUM devices, and on the left side we have a backbone called as middleware. Now the role of the RERUM Gateway is to bridge these two parts and provide the necessary services for sensor registration, data fetching from the sensors, etc. So essentially the RERUM Gateway has two interfaces: a wireless interface that connects to the wireless sensor network over 6LoWPAN, and an Ethernet or a Wi-Fi interface that connects to the middleware. Now this figure shows the software layout of the gateway. It has several modules. For example, the scope and COPE secure client is for fetching data from the RERUM devices. The registrar is used in order to register the RERUM devices to the gateway, and for this use we have the registration database, and these sensors are also registered to the RERUM middleware through this LSM client. Now, in order to fetch data from the RERUM devices, the RERUM middleware sends requests, sends HTTP requests, and the gateway invokes this request through its HTTP server. And through the protocol translator, it translates the HTTP request to COPE requests. Now, the next figure shows the hardware of the RERUM gateway. It consists of a Raspberry Pi and a remote that plays the role of the border router. It also has a Wi-Fi interface and an Ethernet interface. Now let's go now to a real demonstration. Here I will initiate the RERUM gateway. It's gonna take a few seconds till it starts. Now let's see what Wireshark has captured. Now let's first check the Ethernet interface of the gateway. If we follow the TCP stream, we'll see this is with regards to the communication between the gateway and the middleware. And when the gateway first starts, it sends a registration packet in order to register itself to the middleware. And here we say that the middleware responds with added gateway successfully. I will now start a RERUM device. If we go now to the wireless interface of the RERUM gateway that connects it to the wireless sensor network and capture the packets, we see here the packet the sensor sends to the gateway in order to register itself. In this example, we see that the specific sensor sends its model, its 2B, its ID, that is computed based on its IP address, and this information is stored in the local database of the gateway. Furthermore, the gateway, based on this information, registers the sensor to the middleware. Now, if we switch interfaces and go to the Ethernet interface, and if we seek for these messages, here we see that the middleware responds with OK, meaning that the sensor has successfully registered to the middleware. For administration purposes, the RERUM gateway provides several information through HTTP. I will now open a browser here in order to check this information. And if I specify the IP address of the gateway along with its port number, we see that the sensor with this IP address has been registered. Its sensor ID is this one. It's a random sensor ID that is used by the middleware is this one, and its type. Let's now proceed to fetch some real data. This is usually performed by the RERUM middleware, but for demonstration purposes only, we'll trigger this manually through the web browser. So, for example, right now we'll collect ambient temperature measurement from the RERUM device. Then we specify the IP address of the gateway, the operation that is equal to 1 means that initiate the collection process. We also use the random sensor ID we get from the gateway reporting, and we also specify the COPE URI. This is the RERUM send HC temp for the ambient temperature measurements. Now the process has started, and if you go to see the logs of the RERUM gateway, we see that right now the ambient temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. Now let's collect some ambient humidity measurements. We change the COPE URI to hum. By pressing OK, we go again to the logs, and we see that right now the ambient humidity is 44%. The RERUM gateway also provides reporting about the open COPE connections. If we specify here operation equal to 6, we get a table with the active observations. We see that this is the sensor IP. Right now we're using a single RERUM device, and we see the active observations are the temperature and the humidity, and the sensor model is of 2B. Thank you.